All right, so if you got that multiple choice question wrong, there is nothing to be embarrassed about. It is in fact very surprising that the browser behaves the way that it does. We're going to try and change how that browser behaves so that it aligns more closely with our expectations. So here we have another example. We have the text hello world, which is sitting inside a paragraph, and that paragraph is sitting within a section. And if we look at our styles, the section has a constrained width of 150 pixels, but if we investigate this with the browser DevTools, you'll notice our paragraph is taking up 186 pixels. And as we just saw, the reason for that is that by setting width to be 100%, we are saying that the content size should be 150 pixels, right? The size of this blue box, the inner blue box inside the green box, this is going to be 100% of the parent, and then it adds the padding and the border on top of that. So we wind up being 36 pixels wider than intended, because we have 16 pixels on each side for padding and 2 pixels on each side for border. The way to fix this is to toggle on a property called box sizing and to set it to be border box. So by default, this value is content box, and content box is the way that we've just seen. Essentially, when you use a percentage width, it sets that percentage based on the content size, not the size of the box contained by the border. So one thing that's kind of cool that the DevTools let you do, you'll notice I have this commented out line of CSS. And when you leave a line of CSS in, but comment it out, it does show up in the DevTools. So rather than having to write this in myself, I can just tick a little box and it enables that property. So just a little trick, whenever you're writing code, if you want to be able to toggle something, just comment it out and then you can use this in the DevTools. But you'll notice when I toggle this box on and off, the behavior changes, right? This box shrinks. And now with this property on, when I investigate it, my paragraph actually is 150 pixels now. And the way that it does that is it essentially includes the padding and the border as part of the width calculation. So before, my blue box was 150 pixels wide. Now it's much smaller. It looks like 116 or so. So by shrinking the size of that blue box, we're able to make sure that everything can fit within the width that we've established. And this generally aligns much better with how you think, because the alternative is having to figure out, what percentage do I need this to be in order for it to be 100% of this, but then minus the size that I need for this. It's just generally easier, right? We tend to think of boxes as being defined by their borders. So I think to make our lives much easier for the rest of the course, you can assume that this property is enabled, because this is how I always write CSS. I always have this property on. And in the very next section, you'll see how to enable that globally so that you never have to think about this again.